What are you talking about?
Sometimes, when a new entry in a franchise is so good, it makes its predecessors mechanically obsolete, only worth checking out to see how far it's come. I'll play the original Zelda and Metroid and find the fun, but I'd rather just play Link to the Past and Super Metroid. They do everything the originals do, but better. Street Fighter 2, Borderlands 2, Assassin's Creed 2 made the first entries feel so limited. Diablo 2 made Diablo 1 seldom talked about. And there's a reason too many people don't know that there was a Red Dead game before Redemption.
Read all about it. Governor announces 6th annual battle royale.
Well, I do declare.
Although Red Dead Redemption 2's offerings outweigh 1's in the sheer scope of things you can do, 1 is still worth playing. In fact, I know there are people who prefer Red Dead Redemption over the second. I used to be one of them. I still kinda am.
No!
Both games are fun, it's just a matter of what you're in the mood for. 2 is a cowboy simulator, meant to be savored, and 1 has a fast-paced playstyle that allows for immediacy. And if you play both games back to back, it's easy to see their different paces.
Nice shot!
Look at the ways you tame a horse in each game. In 2, you have to slowly approach so as not to spook it.
See? It's okay.
The controller vibrates, and the more it does, the more likely the horse will run away. And every once in a while, you have to stop and hit the COM button until you can advance again. And just take a second to look where you are. Look at that landscape or the painstaking detail in the horse's animation. It's incredible.
Yeah, good.
It takes patience, but once you get to this point, you seize your opportunity to mount the horse, and a minigame of staying balanced begins until you've broken it, and it's yours.
There we are, boy. Whew.
And it's great. Now let's see Red Dead Redemption 1. And it's yours. It's not as detailed, not as awe-inspiring. You don't get to level up a bond and unlock new moves for your horse or even name it, but it's quick, it's simple, and it's fun. This is a microcosm of their differences. This becomes most apparent in its combat. Red Dead Redemption 2's gunfights really make you feel like you're part of an epic shootout from a classic spaghetti western. Red Dead 1's feel more like a rotating shooting gallery, prioritizing enemies that have a better vantage, pop their heads out at the opportune moment, using TNT crates and kerosene lanterns for easier kills.
Don't waste time aiming! Just shoot! You'll hit something!
While Red Dead Redemption 2 has those same elements, it's less about the gunfights and more about the experience.
You look like shit. That's just cruel. Well, that was sad.
The immersive details, the slow burn of its story, spending time with characters that are more than just your average quest givers.
I used to love playing the harmonica before. Well, my house and everything I owned got burned to the ground.
I know.
1 has the more standard Rockstar mission format and puts the shootouts at the forefront of everything you do, because sometimes I want to get right to the action. And sometimes I want to exist in that frontier with all of its digital splendor. No game really captured that spaghetti western movie experience until Rockstar San Diego released Red Dead Revolver in 2004. Well, except maybe Kirby. While there were cowboy games prior to Revolver, Revolver was the first to successfully recreate those iconic moments with a great soundtrack lifted directly from those kinds of movies. I remember when I first saw Django Unchained, I recognized a couple songs from Red Dead Revolver, which I later learned were lifted from these old Italian westerns.
Don't you bother to fool him around. Keeps the vomits on the run.
I just think it's awesome that this game indirectly taught me about the genre I've since gone full boomer on. And replaying it, I think my favorite part of Revolver is the soundtrack and the sound effects. I also like the tiny details, like the game screen has these jagged edges like it's being presented on an old screen, or how the cutscenes have those vertical lines and tears as if it were being shown on an old worn out projector. This clearly was a labor of love, but gameplay wise, time hasn't been great to Red Dead Revolver. Every couple years I go through the same cycle. Oh man, I should play Red Dead Revolver, that game was so fun. Then about halfway through, I'm just sick of it. Once you get over those initial fun moments like fighting in a canyon, stopping a train robbery, the subpar gameplay begins to really stand out. It lacks a certain depth that makes me want to keep playing.
What do you say, partner?
6 years later, Rockstar releases Red Dead Redemption.
You're just like me, John. You can't change who you are. No, don't!
I'm Herbert Moon! I've just been robbed! You gotta stop him!
That's why every man should have a gun. Oh, world gone crazy!
So what are we going to do?
I'm gonna hand you over to him, watch him tear you limb from limb.
What?
Just kidding.
Red Dead Redemption took everything that was fun about Red Dead Revolver and improved on it in every way. Even though the big format change was arcade-like chapters to open world, the primary focus was on combat and feeling like a legendary gunslinger immortalized in cinema. All the slower immersion-style missions you see all over 2 are the bookends in 1. The beginning with Bonnie on the ranch and the end with John's family ranch. Every mission in between ends in some kind of gunfight.
You better be at peace with the Lord.
Red Dead Redemption 2's gunfights place more of an emphasis on the immersive aspects, guiding you along a path like you're taking part in an action set piece with frenetic interactions along the way.
Aha, that'll do it.
Red Dead 1 sells an experience along a path too, but it mostly focuses on those shooting galleries, and it's so fun in its simplicity. It's more noticeable when replaying missions for gold medals. Let's take an early Chapter 2 mission, paying a social call for example. The mission requirements are combat related. Get stealth kills, get headshots, have high accuracy, but every time you replay it, you have to sit through the ride with John, Bill, and that damn O'Driscoll. I like that you can get some different dialogue while you drive there, but why can't I get straight to the fighting?
Give up, O'Driscolls. We got you beat.
Red Dead Redemption 1 has missions like this, but they're never that time consuming. Often you even have the option to skip long rides.
Wake up! We're drawing near to Torquemada.
Paying a social call takes about 10 minutes, and 8 of those minutes are spent riding to the location. And this is just one of many missions like that in Redemption 2. I enjoy the story and dialogue, but I also like options.
This don't feel right. Now it don't feel right.
Red Dead Redemption's combat is often criticized for being mindless and not very challenging, but I love the combat in both games. Rockstar's shooting mechanics have never been that impressive, unless you're playing Max Payne. That being said, I do feel Red Dead Redemption 1's is a slight cut above the rest.
Run away, pal! Over there.
2 seems to incentivize auto-aim, whereas the endgame of 1's hardcore mode and the Undead Nightmare encourages you to get good at free aim. Anytime I played with free aim in 2, it just rarely felt as rewarding. Not only do you have the weapon sway that you can mitigate with crouching or taking cover, but the sort of clunky movement for the sake of realism made me feel like I was never in full control, like I was also fighting the game's need to sell this immersive experience. The only time I felt uninhibited was sniping or manning a Maxim gun. Red Dead Redemption 1, on the other hand, does feel like I'm in complete control. The reticle stays right where you point it no matter how you're moving. And I don't have as much customization in my weapons, but I also don't have to clean my gun to make it shoot more accurately. I do enjoy the added mechanics in 2, like fanning the hammer, adding an extra click between shots, the bloom of the reticle to give you a specific rhythm for each weapon, but there's something nice about pointing and clicking. Initially I was bummed I couldn't play Red Dead Redemption 2 the way I enjoyed 1, but now I have the option for whatever mood I'm in. If I want to enjoy the slow burn and simply existing in that world with the characters, I play 2. If I want a quick fix of cowboy shoot 'em up, I play 1. And I think 1 holds up incredibly well, not just in the gameplay but the story too. The theme is men bad but government worse, which is very relatable at any given time. The game's always acknowledging that John is not a good person for all the people he's killed, but then asks the player if he's any worse than the institutions we put our faith in and give so much power to.
You know, at the end of this, you'll probably get a medal. I know I shall.
Arthur Morgan is one of the best protagonists in any media, and John Marston is given even more layers in 2 that only enriches Journey in 1. That's not to take away John's standalone story and redemption. Try to imagine you don't know about any of the events in Red Dead Redemption 2 for a second. When you start the game, you're given only minor hints about John's background that seem pretty generic for a gunslinger.
I certainly don't mind you asking if you don't mind me not telling.
Of course, Mr. Marston. I understand that a city dweller such as yourself likes to have some exotic secrets, so us country folk are impressed. You do so love to talk in riddles, Mr. Marston. Do you do that, I wonder, as a substitute for having anything interesting to say?
But only a few missions in, he explains who he is, and you realize there's a lot of depth to his character.
Miss McFarland, I'm married. I have a son. I had a daughter, but she died. Years before that, I rode in a gang. We robbed banks, trains, held people ransom. We killed people we didn't like. Bill Williamson was in that gang. Now, if I don't capture my former brother in arms, great harm will befall my family. I hope it explains why I wasn't so eager to talk about it.
He's not this mystery drifter man with no name they could have easily gone with. He's extremely flawed, and it makes him feel relatable. I find John to be more relatable than any Rockstar player character. Arthur is this handsome, strong, charming, yet intimidating Giga Chad in his prime.
Get the hell off of her, you son of a bitch! Hey, take it easy. There's no problem here. There will be if you don't get out of here right now.
And John is this grumpy dad trying to do what he feels is right at any given moment while being called an idiot by everyone he comes across.
So, how do you feel?
I don't know the polite word for it.
Stupid is the word we use around here.
I'm an uneducated killer, sent here to do all I can do well.
Rob Wiedoff's performance adds so many layers to every little line he delivers, and I'm so glad he came back for 2.
I guess I'm a bad man who tried to be a good father. I don't know. Every man has a right to change. A chance of forgiveness. Ain't that what the good book says?
You've never read me the good book, sir.
Well, I imagine that's what it says.
The more cartoonish characters of Red Dead Redemption 1 stand out, like Nigel West Dickens, Irish, Seth. Yet they're only in the story for the first act and not much else. But they're such caricatures that it makes them so memorable. This really is the Grand Theft Auto vibe of cowboy games.
Who would enjoy that? What kind of sick person would like that?
The lowest common denominator!
I think there's some school children down the way you can go and frighten.
Oh, hardy fucking whore.
Welcome to Mexico, amigo!
Oh, you might want to deal with this fella yourself.
I'll come quietly.
I've seen a lot of people give Rockstar Stories criticism for never knowing how to end their games, which is valid.
We're gonna have such fun, because you know, I love you. I really do, because you're such a big, strong man, and that's just what I need.
Dude, Rockstar's so cringe sometimes, but I think Red Dead Redemption 1 has one of the best endings in any video game. 2's final mission, American Venom, gives me goosebumps every time I play it. But it sort of ends on a fade out, with the more poignant moments happening during the credits. I'll never forget the gut-wrenching experience of John's last stand, or that sting after Jack takes his revenge. Plus, I think 2 is only a good ending if you know how 1 ends, otherwise it just ends somewhat abruptly without much resolution. 2's ending combined with 1 really leaves you thinking.
You're gonna be thinking a lot.
Very few games can measure up to D'Angelo's Unshaken in Chapter 5. But I knew when I heard So Far Away when I entered Mexico that this was a very, very special game.
It's so far away.
I especially love the more Old West and Mexico music stings in 1 that complemented sprawling desert landscapes and canyons and rocky mountains. You have those in 2, but they explore more of everything east of the Rockies, and even the post-war South, and that feels pretty bold of them to go there.
What we doing so far south, Arthur? I don't like it.
Some places down here, they judge different.
Well, now, guess it can't be so easy for you, Lenny.
Both have their own unique offerings that 2 never fully supersedes, and in that way, Red Dead Redemption 1 to me is like Ocarina of Time or Majora's Mask. Games that may not have the scope or deeper mechanics of Breath of the Wild or Tears of the Kingdom, but are still so good for what they offer to this day. Maybe I'm just blinded by nostalgia, but Red Dead Redemption 1 is one of my most replayed games. So go play Red Dead Redemption, even if you've played it a million bajillion times. It's one of the best games there is, and will be for a long, long time. Not to mention giving us one of the greatest DLCs ever made.
Sorry about that.
If you play Redemption 1 after binging 2, you'll notice just how fast that game moves.
What are you waiting for?
Let's make this quick.
Such an elegant way to travel. What do you think of this automobile, Mr. Marston?
Slow.
Behind us! Get us, cabrón!
You sure put that fella to bed. I'm getting the hang of this.